You're listening to PartyNerdz Weekly.
PartyNerdz in the house! Woo! Guys, tonight, I'm just going to breeze through the introductions real quick. We got on the controls, we got Jorge Vergara. Is that racist?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you just Speedy Gonzalez him?
Sorry,
like
senor.
Prejudicial, stereotypical. Yeah, you're going there.
You're horrible.
Let it
Yeah,
fly.
right. Okay, I apologize. I'll be racist too, motherfucker. Yeah, I'm from the hood. And we also got the bearded one who's letting his hair grow, looking like the Messiah himself. Bravo! What's up, Bravo?
What up?
All right. You were doing your wow, stop it. Where did your thumb go? What are you doing? How do you do these things? Also, we have with us the facts master himself, the man. Give it up for Grandmaster Facts.
What up?
Sounds life.
Hey, it's wonderful, man. As long as the MCU's back in full formation, I'm happy.
It's begun. And we have this impressive female with us who's not only has the Scarlet Witch background, but she is rocking the Elizabeth Olsen Wanda so hot, want to touch. No, I'm just kidding. Give it up for Wanda.
I'm good. I'm a little jealous of Bravo, though. I mean, he looks way better than I do right now.
Wanda.
The only person I know that can actually give Bravo a beard competition if he wanted to is our guest. Guys, give it up for Dom Charland.
You did, bitch.
Savage fatality.
So, Dom, I know. Let me ask you a question, Dom. What's the longest you've ever let your beard grow?
I had it at full Obi-Wan a couple months ago. I had to shave it off for something else, for a Kilgrave shoe. But give it if I sneeze really hard, it'll come out like Play-Doh, like Peter Griffin, and it'll be back.
Like a chia pet, you just put green peat moss on your face?
At sunset, I turn in the direction of Bravo and pray to him.
Don't we all? It's kind of like a tradition, you know? And when you do, he might just bless you with some weird stuff. Anyway, guys, all right. So tonight, guys, we are talking about WandaVision. This is very exciting because it's like the MCU is back. I mean, how long has it been since Endgame last was in the theater? How many years ago?
2 years.
How many years?
Almost 2.
Yeah, it's almost 2.
But 2 years since we've had any new MCU official content. And here's the thing, guys. It came out the gate with these 2 episodes of WandaVision, and the reception has not been great. It's actually been people pissed off. No, there's a lot of people.
Because people are stupid. People are stupid. They don't understand anything. Marvel was a 10-year buildup. They can't expect it in 2 episodes.
I would say Dom's pretty right. I would say it's more the attention span of people. Nowadays, we have people, you get instant gratification 10,000 times on your phone just by going like this. So people aren't patient for build-ups. They're already going, well, what is this? Why don't I already know? Guys, it's 2 answers to some pretty heavy reality warping stuff.
And honestly, they basically told us how this show was going to go before we even watched it. They said it was going to be sitcom based. It turns out to be sitcom based, and they think it's boring and slow. Pay attention to the details.
The actor who plays Vision did state in interviews that it's very chaotic at the beginning, but then it starts to become back to more familiar MCU territory later on.
So now, is this just a byproduct of a spoiled generation of the who's the guy that makes the Transformers movie? They just want the boom. Michael Bay. Is everybody just wanted to come in like all this boom bang? Is that just a generational thing? Because first of all, I'm old enough to remember these old black and white shows. I remember when I was young.
Night, dude.
Oh yeah, Nick at Night. Come on, who don't remember Nick at Night?
The Dick Van Dyke Show, starring Dick Van Dyke, Rosemary, Maury Amsterdam, Larry Matthews, and Mary Tyler Moore.
So this is Dick Van Dyke, the opener. This is Bewitched. This is I Dream of Jeannie. This is I Love Lucy. All 4 of those basically wrapped up into one.
100%.
As far as the sitcoms are going.
and a little bit of Leave It to Beaver too. It's just like they took all the best elements of. But you guys,
I beg to differ with you, my man, because in Westview there are no children.
Yeah, there's no children.
Finish him.
oh,
They keep
Well,
saying it's for the children.
For the children.
For the
right.
children. They hypnotize you with that, but there's no kids.
Here's the
And-
problem. We just went through a second season of Mandalorian where even though every episode was a fetch quest, every episode had something happen, had a crescendo, it came down. Every episode had substantial content that was simple. Blast, Jawa's death, whatever. Now in WandaVision, you actually have to pay attention. You have to think. It's artsy. It's deep. It's everything that, as people that are invested in the MCU for the past million years, we're hungry for that. But you have people that just came off the heels of Mandalorian that are like, I don't understand. Where's the smash?
You guys know the manhole that the beekeeper comes out that, it could be a swarm. It could be the swarm. It could be a guy that's dressed in a hazmat suit. We don't know. That
Well,
sewer,
he did have a sword logo on the back of his beacon.
Yeah.
that sewer didn't exist. If you watch the episode again, that manhole cover doesn't exist until that moment.
You know what? And I actually got in an argument with someone on Facebook that said they hated the first 2 episodes. And I actually told them, I was like, have you seen Too Many Cooks? Have you guys seen that?
It takes a lot to make a stew.
A pinch of salt and laughter too.
A scoop of kids to add the spice.
A dash of love to make it nice. And you got
Too many cooks.
too many cooks.
Too many cooks. Too many cooks. It takes a lot to make a stew. When it's ready to me and you. Him and her, the baby too.
Yeah, I'm friends with
Oh
Jorge.
no!
But no, think about it. It had a sitcom feel and it made you feel safe at first. It was just kind of lighthearted and goofy. It was just like the sitcom opener that didn't end. But it got darker and they always had that evil thread, the dude with the beard in it. And if you guys haven't watched Too Many Cooks, watch it. Yeah, it's like Bravo. Bravo is the killer, And so I'm thinking as the series goes along, like you said earlier, James, it's just going to get darker and darker. You just got to stick with it. Do you feel that's the case?
I mean, I feel that's the case. As of right now, it's basically pointing out all the clues that are basically harnessing inside of Wanda's mind. So first off, you see like the toasters, and inside of these commercials, you see the Stark reactor button, the red button that's going off with the Stark Industries on the toaster. And then in the next commercial, you basically see the Baron Strucker Hydra watch. Baron Strucker, of course, being the manipulator of basically Petro and Wanda getting their powers within the MCU. So like you just have to pay attention to the clues that are basically pretty much happening. They even allude to it through that little like panel burst when you look in between that panel, kind of like an ode to the Simpsons, where you see the Grim Reaper's helmet sitting in there. And that's
I had a freeze frame on that to catch
that's
it.
an homage to one of the Avengers comics.
Wonder Man's villain.
Yeah, where Wonder
Reaper's
Man's
brother.
consciousness was basically, they were thinking of transferring Vision's consciousness into Wonder Man, which happens to be the Grim Reaper's younger brother.
And I know so what I loved about this episode, just like you said, to the average eye, to the kids watching it, like, oh, this is boring. They're missing everything. Like all the little,
They
like
did it perfectly with a line that's in there because they're doing amazing foreshadowing with a lot of the dialogue. But one of the ones that slipped by a lot of people that I'm already talking about is the devil is in the details.
Bing.
No, he's somewhere else.
Exactly. If we know about the two kids, Wiccan and Speed, are basically formed from pieces of the soul of Mephisto.
Soul. Yep.
And Agatha Harkness, who you see in this episode,
is she the friend with the dark hair? Is that
you think that she's the friend? Yeah,
that's a gas. It's going to be a gas. Yeah, her.
If you talk about comics, Wanda had, during West Coast Avengers back in the day, Wanda wanted to have kids. She had these two kids, but Wanda's powers in the Marvel Universe were so loosely defined. You know, their hex powers, the altered probabilities, reality. She just, I want kids, bam, had two kids. That need, you can't just manifest life. So it latched onto two pieces of Mephisto's soul, and then years later, they reveal the kids don't really exist. They're like demon babies.
Yeah.
So they had Agatha Harkness, like, what did she mind wiped her, right? Bravo, you would know this.
She mind wiped her.
To
She mind wiped her in order to basically get rid of the memory that she even had the kids.
Yep. Years later, Avengers Disassembles happens, and the beginning of it is just the Wasp shows up and goes, "Man, I don't know how you were ever a mother with kids like these." And she was like, "What?" And goes, "Ooh, shit!" And then she goes crazy. She goes completely crazy, and her mind alters reality. Samantha and I were having a conversation back and forth where Sam thinks all this is happening in Wanda's head. Yes. I think that her reality is altering something around her. What do you guys think? Do you think this is in her head?
I think that it's how Wanda's seeing things, like WandaVision.
But look, you see it at the end of episode 2, where basically you hear, to be honest, the voice sounds like what was it, the Ant-Man? Jimmy Woo. Jimmy Woo. It sounds like him saying, "Wanda, who's doing this to you? Wanda, who's doing this to you?" You keep hearing that going on. Like, basically, it's not her creating the pocket reality in her head. It's pretty much something else somebody else that's doing it to her. Could it be Agatha? Could it be Dottie? Could it be some other entity outside of that? Who knows?
Could it be her husband, who we never see?
Exactly.
So wait, now let me ask you guys about Vision. Is he now a construct of her mind, or is he still dead? Did she bring him back? Did the snap bring him back, or is he just like a figment now of her imagination?
It takes place after Endgame, and at the end of Endgame.
Are you sure?
Yes.
This isn't happening when she was dusted?
No, this takes place after Endgame. They've already confirmed that. And we already know that Vision didn't come back. She's manifesting him.
Right.
He's an illusion, just like in the magic thing.
Because at the end of Avengers Assembled, you see her in a house with Vision and the 2 kids all alive because she just manifested while all that death was going on around her.
This is the thing. In Avengers Endgame, her only appearance in Endgame was in the fight scene at the end.
No, with her and Hawkeye at the end as well.
At the end, yeah, exactly. End. That's what I'm saying. She didn't show up until the end, fight scene and the funeral scene. In between that time, she was dusted. So she didn't show up until the fight. So does this pocket reality happen in between the time that she was dusted?
They've already said that this takes place after Endgame. Like they've already said this takes place after Endgame.
I don't believe anything Marvel says until it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
But realistically, they're giving you the clues and not like you have to read between the lines. No, I mean, they've made it very, very clear. He is an illusion. You can see it with the magic episode. Straight up, the speech Vision gives to the audience isn't to the townspeople. It's to us, the audience. We're going to make you believe that all of these traumas and slights that we do are
very
real.
interesting. You know what? Now, Sam, let me ask you a question. How do you think? And then I'm going to get all you guys, the minds, all the nerds. Sam, how do you think all this is going to lead into the multiverse of madness, into Spider-Man 3? What is going to happen in WandaVision that's going to open that gate, you think?
So I don't know where they're going with it. I just feel like I don't know if it's inside her mind. Then there was a picture released recently of Maria Rambeau sticking her hand in between a force field where it looks like she's entering, and we all know that she's Geraldine. So how'd she get in there? And then I kind of feel like Wanda's going to go crazy and it's going to open everything once she realizes that none of this is real. But is it following the comics? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the weird part, because Monica is, of course, she's not in this world by her own accords. She's forced in here.
And Monica is the little girl that was in Captain Marvel.
Yes. But
okay.
Yeah, Photon. I mean, for those that don't know.
Ultimately, at this point, we see them setting us up for something. We saw all these little Easter eggs, and even when Wanda was like, "My husband with the unbreakable head."
My wife and the flying saucers.
My husband and his indestructible head.
Aren't we?
That was like the.
Oh my God, that was like so not too soon. Too soon.
That was like the obvious clue. And then you had Agatha, the neighbor, who you guys say is the Harkness. Like who in the comics is Agatha Harkness?
She's to be honest, you could depict her in a couple ways. For one, she's a powerful witch, but she's also like the nanny of Marvel. She did not only just have the tutelage over the kids of just Wiccan and Speed, but she's also had the tutelage over Franklin Richards in the Fantastic Four.
Is she stronger than Wanda?
No.
So I think Agatha was a learned witch. Wanda, her mutant power, and it was mutant. They retconned it at some point when they were dealing with Fox, but her mutant power was she could affect magic. But she wasn't trained to do so, and that's what made her so dangerous. Doctor Strange shows up at one point and was like, what are you talking about? She uses chaos magics. There's no such thing. Her powers are to alter magic, and it's untrained. You know, you give someone a lightsaber and they just start swinging, they're going to chop their own arm off.
It's the difference between somebody shooting a gun and then somebody throwing a grenade.
Chaos magic.
Very interesting. So now let me ask you guys, Bravo, let me ask you, what is sword? Because now everyone's talking about like it's the space version of S.H.I.E.L.D. What is sword?
That's the easiest way to break it down. Essentially, they are they deal with space, and they're the S.H.I.E.L.D. version of it. Yeah, sword and shield. But that's the other thing that's a little confusing. I don't know if they're retconning it because it seems like they're building up more.
Definitely retconning it.
Yeah, it seems like they're building
Look
it
at
up
the end scene from Spider-Man Far From Home.
Magic rather than space.
Right.
So now, like even that scene, what was weird to me was that red helicopter coming into the black and white world. And I forgot where I read somewhere that they were implying that might have been a real helicopter trying to come rescue or save the situation. And her power is just so strong, it turned it into a toy in a world. Do you guys buy that?
Right.
I wonder why it's red and yellow. I wonder what it is.
McDonald's!
This is the thing. At first glance, taking this tomato down through these spinning fan blades may seem impossible. But I'm here to show you it's not. This must be done, all in one motion. Okay, guys, watch me go to work.
Dinner at McDonald's. It's Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight.
It's not McDonald's. no, but this is the thing. There's something inhibited with the color red. For one, the toaster, the red thing was the red light was blinking on and off, on and off, on and off. The helicopter, the red and the yellow from the helicopter. When Dottie cut herself, the red was showing in color in her hand. Something is up with the color red in there. And we all know that Scarlet's powers are based off it like a red glow, even though it was given from the Mind Stone, which is kind of weird.
So here's the thing. It's not just the color red. You know, it does stick out into our minds because the other thing to remember is the helicopter was yellow as well. The cut is also red, yes. But here's what happened at the end of that episode. Everything became colorized, just like how Bewitched originally was black and white, and it became a color show.
That was one of the group of TV shows that actually started.
I think it's progressing.
But the reason why that color became more ingrained is notice what happened. So obviously Scarlet Witch has gone through a lot of trauma, and the trauma is told to us through the commercials. You know, she blames Stark for what happened to her Sokovia Village with the bombs, and then next was her manipulation with Hydra. So it showed those two at first. Then you have the complete and utter denial that her husband is dead. So what happens every single time this illusion gets more ingrained? The color starts to come out. The cut happens, and it's, okay, there's like a little bit of a break, but then when she covers up the blood, all of a sudden the illusion goes right back.
Yeah, because the radio was fixed after that.
Right.
Who is that? Who are you?
Wanda. Who's doing this to you, Wanda? Wanda. What?
Dottie!
What?
I noticed that right away.
The radio was fixed. The radio blew up and then it was fixed.
When she first said no to Swarm, the hazmat, however they want to project that, when she said no, they went back, and then all of a sudden the new timeline was that she is pregnant. So when she goes, is this really happening? Vision goes, yes, my love. All of a sudden, everything becomes more colorized. And the illusion of this becomes more ingrained, because what happens when somebody goes through trauma is they either accept it, understand, and deal with it, and create a new narrative for them to empower themselves with it, or they go into denial and make it a further, harder illusion for them to break out of that trauma.
Well, let me ask you a question. So do you think that like Agatha and the people around her again, because I remember she was reading a magazine that had like twins on it. So then is she planting seeds in Wanda's mind to have kids? It's almost like she wants her to reproduce, like, but then she make a comment, something like, oh, you guys are going to be getting it on soon.
It's true. It's true. And you're also seeing that in some cases, you see Wanda trying to keep Agatha away from Vision, like trying not to get her too close to him. There's a portion of time where she makes that dinner for her. You never see Vision in the kitchen, but when she comes back with the pineapple for the pineapple upside down cake, it's kind of like Wanda shuts the door in her face, like yo. Because Vision was about to open the door.
Mm-hmm.
So
what else I loved about that scene is people don't realize she made that guy choke. Or maybe did I see that wrong? It looks like,
but the thing is, the weird thing about that scene was after even Vision pulls the whatever the fuck out of his throat, like they leave the house like had a good meal, thank you.
So I think the thing there, right, is I think that subconsciously Wanda knows that this is not real, and then she was like, "This guy's gonna die. Fuck, break the fourth wall and save him real quick." And then we go right back to it, just like you said with the radio facts. The radio broke because things were getting too real, and all of a sudden she regained control of the illusion. I think subconsciously, I don't think that it's malicious. I don't think that she knows what she's doing. I think that her emotions, whatever happened, has created this perfect reality for her. And as it breaks around her, she's like, oh God, what's happening? And then she regains control. And in that moment at the end, when you see the beekeeper, whether it's Swarm or it's AIM or whoever the hell else it is, she's like, nope. And then she just rewinds. I think that's her regaining control. She has to use her powers to break that fourth wall to bring it all back together again.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. The people around her, like the wife that was like, stop it. The one, are they real people or are they constructs? Are they people thrown into her world, or are they all kind of like figments of her creation?
So one of the stories I always recommend people, like even if they don't like comics, if they don't like anything, there was a Justice League Unlimited episode where the Justice League went back in time. Well, they believed that they went back in time and they were on a different world where like they saw the Justice League of America, or the Justice Society of America, and it's like the super campy 1950s heroes, but something just seems amiss. And they have like this little boy that follows them around, just like in the 1950s, where they did the boy howdy type of sidekick. Turns out this kid is like a mental mutant and has been projecting the world. I think it's the exact same scenario. And just like you had said, there are real people in this that are caught in the illusion and have no idea how to deal with it. And that's why when she was saying, stop it, she wasn't saying it to her husband. She was saying it to Wanda.
Wanda, right.
Right.
Sam, what do you think about, like, so let me get like an overall perspective now, because I mean, this is a great topic, because I feel like this is going to be a show we can talk about every damn week if we wanted to. But like, Sam, so far, Sam, are you one of the people, because there are a lot of people, I don't want to like lighten this, that really don't like the show. What is your opinion of it? Are you thinking this is like something to study? To me, it's like, I can watch this again. What do you think about it?
I loved it. I thought it was great. I mean, I do like old sitcoms, and like, I feel like maybe the younger generation just they don't get it. And it is a lot of waiting and stuff, but I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was very entertaining. I feel like something feels really off and it's going to get very dark. And I think that's what I'm really looking forward to the most.
I mean, so do you think it is, and that's a good point. Is it a generational thing? Because we're all older, me being the older.
No. Sam is named for the Sam from Bewitched.
Yes, that's who I'm named after.
Oh, well, there you go. The more you know. So like, is it just we appreciate the throwback references? Like watching this show, like I love how all the jokes are campy. I actually heard that Dick Van Dyke actually like was advising them on how to do the 50s type of show, which
that
is
whole
awesome.
opening is Dick Van Dyke. Them driving in and married.
Are we going to get a different opening every week?
I think so.
Probably, yeah, because we got the Bewitched one in the beginning of the second one.
And the time periods are changing too.
Because I think it's, if you look at it, it's, and we were talking about this, Sam and I think that if it's 8 episodes, it goes 50s, then 60s, and 70s, 80s, early 90s, late 90s, 2000s, and now.
Because if you remember from the trailer, Monica Rambeau at one point has an afro, so I guess we're going to the 70s.
Yeah.
And you know what? I would almost hope Marvel has learned from their mistakes. And all the previews they showed us, I mean, I hope they didn't show us everything. How cool would it be if they ended up in like a Family Matters or that's, you know what I mean? Cool. Like, and because like, here's the whole thing. I also, do you think that, how does Wanda have these TV shows in her mind? In Sokovia, was she watching old sitcoms? Like, how does she have this? Maybe when she was locked up with Quicksilver, that's all they did was watch.
Like when you go to Cuba and all the cars are from 40 years ago, and Sokovia, they only have like PBS and the 13 channels.
When I went to DR for the first time, Carlo Fantastico was like one of their favorite shows. It's Knight Rider.
It's also very possible that when her and Vision were together, you see like she does mess a little bit with the Mind Stone. They could have used that to like connect on a deeper level. What's the first thing that Ultron did when he became self-aware? He connected to the internet.
So airwaves.
He connected to the internet and like tried to learn as much as he could.
Yep.
Well, the funny thing is when people want to learn other people's cultures, what they'll usually do is they'll watch TV.
Yeah.
And if you were this immensely powerful being and you're trying to understand humanity, what better time for like, you know, when humanity saw itself at its best? This is like the 1980s, 50s, and all that other type of stuff.
Bravo, I think you solved it. I think you solved it. That's why her Sokovian accent is magically fucking whisked away.
I'm so happy the accent is gone. Is anyone else happy about this?
So you mean it's not there anymore? What you mean?
It's funny because she has that Pan-American accent that didn't exist. Vision, we're going to the mall today. You know, like that radio accent that doesn't actually exist. So is her voice going to progress as we go? And then hopefully at the end of this, if one thing comes out of WandaVision, it's that Elizabeth Olsen has no accent at the end of this.
So let me ask you guys before we leave, like, where do you guys think this is headed? How's this going to link into other movies? And we only got like a couple minutes left. So
I think that whatever is happening is going to reveal whether or not there's a multiverse in Marvel, which we know that there's going to be.
Yeah.
The movie is literally called Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. They cast every single human being on the planet in Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure that Knight Rider appears in Spider-Man.
Of course. David Hasselhoff is a pure
I think that this is just setting us, I think it's setting a foundation for where we're going to go next. That's my opinion. I don't think it's going to be a big boom, but whatever it is going to have lasting repercussions.
I necessarily don't think that the shit's going to hit the fan until the kids get there. And when the kids do arrive, I feel as though the town of Westview or whatever they created. And luckily, if anybody had seen in the Easter eggs that the area code is 732, which is Jersey, of course. And what do we know basically from the Captain America and Captain America Winter Soldier and as well as Endgame is that Camp Lehigh was in Jersey.
Lehigh was in Jersey.
Right. So is this camp out basically happening where they've been known to do tons of experiments? Is this done near there?
I mean, they showed Pym particles there. They showed the Tesseract there.
Exactly. What is the better place to basically like figure out what's going on with Wanda?
Blame it on Jersey.
Where would you want to just bring her to Jersey? Turn her into Snooki?
No one cares about Jersey.
So wait, guys, we have more weeks to talk about this. Do you think Mephisto's going to be like the main antagonist?
I hope.
That's a last episode reveal.
Bro, if he is, I would be so fucking happy.
What if it's Christian Bale?
No.
No, I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate it.
What, Bale? Come on,
yeah.
stop.
I don't know why you hate on him for so many years.
Stop that guy.
He'll be like, I'm Mephisto. I'm Mephisto. Ugh.
Where are they? Where to me?
Wanda, everything you thought was actually me.
I don't know if that was Bale or Hulk Hogan you were just doing.
Yeah, it's like
Bale impression is Hulk Hogan with a stroke.
That's the reason I don't like Bale.
All right, guys, great show.
Are we ending again?
Dom, thank you for coming. Sam, thank you, guys. It was awesome.
PartyNerdz, 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 PartyNerdz.